Another Plan As You Go month is wrapped up and I am feeling all over the place right now. Hi everybody, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my experience with this last Plan As You Go month, kind of how the month went. Am I going to do it again? Answer some questions having to do with that, and I'm just going to get into it. It's going to be a quick little video, but I wanted to take a few minutes and collect my thoughts before we move into the next couple months worth of Cindy Guentert-Baldo goodness. That sounds like it could be nasty. This month was a little different than the first Plan As You Go month. And if the lights go in whack, it's because the sun keeps going behind a cloud and I'm not setting my lights up. I got too much shit to do this week, so I apologize in advance. This month was a little different. Instead of playing in my usual Erin Condren bullet journal system, I decided to give the Scribbles That Matter bullet planner a try. And I used it for damn near the entire month. I used it for 4 weeks. My opinions on that planner are kind of mixed. I will be doing a video tomorrow where I talk about the pros and the cons as I see it of using that planner after using it for 4 weeks. But overall, I will say I am not sticking with it. I am going back to my usual system and it feels fucking good. As one of you requested, I actually think I might next week recap what it feels like after a week to be back. Although it might not be exactly normal because I'm going to go wild this week. So it's going to be a lot of traveling. And I never stick to my planners when I'm traveling. It's just a fact of life for me. It was different this month because the first time I did this Plan As You Go month, I was using my regular system and showing you how I use that. And this time I was trying to figure out something new. Some of you told me at the beginning that maybe it wasn't a good idea to try mixing my planners up. Fucking garbage trucks and all the things right now. I can't fucking film for the life of me. I will say, those of you who said that I should probably not think about using a new planner for a Plan As You Go month were probably right. Although I also feel like I was more, I'm so sorry for the background noise. I can't. It's been one of those days. You're probably right. I probably shouldn't have tried to do something brand new in a month when I'm filming every single day. But at the same time, I think that using the new planner every single day for a Plan As You Go month actually kept me using it rather than using it for a little bit and then throwing it out the window. I think I may have gotten more use out of it than I would have normally. I was a little all over the place all month because I was not using my regular system, and now I feel all over the place even though I'm going back to my regular system because I'm still getting back into it. The question really would be, am I going to do another Plan As You Go month anytime in the near future? I had tested this by doing this another 2 months out, so it could be kind of like quarterly to see how that felt. And to be perfectly honest with you, I probably could do it quarterly. I don't know if I'm going to do it quarterly because doing it quarterly does take a lot of time away from the rest of the channel, and I feel like it rushes some of the rest of the things I like to do. So maybe instead of doing it quarterly, I just play it by ear and do it when I feel like I'm going to be able to, whether that's quarterly, every 6 months. I don't think it's going to be any sooner than quarterly. I just don't want to hold myself to that on the off chance that it doesn't feel like it's the right time. So my conclusion is that yes, I will do it again. I don't know when that's going to be yet. I need to give myself some time. Maybe part of it's because I'm in the middle of ending my board president term. In the last couple months of that, I'm doing a bunch of traveling over the next 3 weeks, and the thought of doing another Plan As You Go is really fucking overwhelming. I may feel differently a month from now. I don't know. So I guess we're gonna have to see. Another thing that happened this month that did not happen in January is that my grandmother died. And as some of you know, as you followed that, I did take a break for a couple of days from the Plan As You Go videos because I just wasn't using my planners. However, one of the things that I am getting kind of out of it, and you can look forward to this on the podcast, is a chance for me to talk about how we grieve online. How we grieve, how we are perceived when we're grieving, what are the perceived limits of what you're allowed to express, you know, is there a right way to do things? And even though we all know there is no right way to grieve except for the way that you're in right now, sometimes it feels like you need to do things a certain way to be able to keep up with what other people think of you. And I ran into that a few times, not because of pressure or anything that you guys put on me, but pressure I put on myself. I think that that is a topic I would like to explore more on the podcast and maybe in the videos coming up, how grieving plays into the lives that we decide to show online. Overall, though, I feel like the biggest impact, besides missing the few days that losing my grandmother had on Plan As You Go month, like that specifically, not counting my entire life or anything, but specifically on that, was that it was very hard for me to kind of get my thoughts in order most days because I felt sort of all over the place and like I didn't know what else to do. And so that may have come across. But like I said, Plan As You Go is about showing the reality. And I hope that I I showed my reality. I felt like I did, but I don't know. You guys can let me know if you feel like I did or not. One of the things that I did not get a chance to talk a lot about during Plan As You Go, but I would like to talk a lot about as we go into the next couple of months, is the realities of planning in certain things. I get kind of fired up when I see people make videos about how to plan with a chronic disease if they don't have one. I personally like to take advice on certain subjects from people who are in there for that subject. I can't tell you how to plan as somebody who runs a direct sales business, because I don't run a direct sales business. I can't tell you how to plan as somebody who is a parent of kids that are hardcore in sports, because my kids are not hardcore in sports. What I can tell you about is what it is like to parent when you have a chronic disease that really fucks with you on a daily basis. And I can tell you how to plan as a parent who shares 50% custody of her kids and has to build her life around her custody schedule and working with the other household. I can talk about that, and I would like to. I think that's what I want to do over the next couple of months in some of my planner-oriented videos, is to really talk about specific areas that my life encompasses and how I plan through those. And maybe that came from Plan As You Go because it felt like I wasn't able to really dig deep into how I plan in certain ways, because I felt like I just had to get through the video every day, and I didn't have time to really talk really heavily about one subject or another, and I'd like to focus more on that. After doing Plan As You Go, it's helped me really realize that's something that I want to do. And secondly, I've seen some videos come out in the last month or two where I have felt like the people that are making them, while they're trying to be helpful, and I appreciate that they're trying to be helpful, don't always have the most concrete advice for people because they don't live those situations. They're giving their advice as an outsider looking into a specific situation. As somebody who is in some of these situations, it makes me want to bring forward some more advice for people from somebody who has lived it and is living it, if that makes sense. And that is something that Plan As You Go kind of brought to the forefront of my mind. So that is something I will be incorporating over the next few weeks and months and whatever. Another thing that I really want to do over the next month, maybe 2 months, and this came again directly out of Plan As You Go, as you guys are seeing my life on paper every day for a whole month. What I really wanted was to show you my life not on paper. In conjunction with the planner videos and the bullet journal videos that I do every week, I wanted to start vlogging. Maybe not every single day, but capturing parts of my life. I'm going to be traveling a lot over the next 3 weeks, so I'll be able to capture parts of my traveling, and then also just living life as a parent who shares custody, as a parent who, on the weeks when I don't have custody of my kids, to give you a look into the reality of my life, so that when you see how I plan every day and every week, and then you get context because you see some of the real things that happen. And I feel like that's important for balance, so that you can see the beautiful plans as I lay them out, or I try to lay them out, and then the way things actually shake out, whether it's I have a bad kidney day or my kids are at their dad's house or whatever the case may be. I came out of this month, both of doing Plan As You Go and launching the Uncurated Life podcast, has left me with like a hunger to show three-dimensional reality, not like actual 3D or anything like that, but like to show you more of my life in a way that helps you realize the whole of who I am. Maybe it's my grandmother dying. I don't know. Maybe it's all of these things kind of together in a whirlwind. The experiment is going to run at least through May. I don't know if I'm going to continue it through June or not. I'll have more information on that as I get there, because I'm going to play it by ear. But the goal right now is to do a planner video, whether it's a plan with me or reviewing a planner. I have a couple of planners that I want to review, which I have some mixed feelings about, and fair warning, that's coming. Either a planner review or plan with me on Mondays, unless it's the live plan with me, which will be at the end of May, because that's the only time I have with all the traveling. The last Sunday in May is when the live plan with me is going to be. Spoiler alert. I will do a planner video of some sort on Mondays, a bullet journal video on Thursdays, and then on Fridays I will put up my weekly vlog, which will encompass whatever I felt like vlogging that week. And then there'll be pen reviews and all the other things. The other thing I will mention that I've already mentioned kind of in passing, but I thought I would bring out to the forefront, is that the felt tip fine liner Thunderdome, where I compare all of them together, is going to come in June, purely because of all these traveling. I thought I was going to be able to fit it in, but then when my grandmother passed away and we had to go to her memorial service out of state in this month on top of the other traveling I'm doing, I just didn't have time. And It requires a lot of research to do one of those videos well, and I want to be able to do it right, so it'll happen in June. But that'll give me more time to do some more review videos, and I've got plenty of fine liner review videos coming up, and then a whole shit ton of brush pens that are just waiting for me to get through the fine liners. So yay, I love reviewing pens, not gonna lie. This feels like a massive ramble, but really what I came out of this Plan As You Go feeling was A, don't try and change shit up when you're filming every day. B, when life does happen, be honest about it. And C, I really want to give you a more whole picture of my complicated life, not just the part of it that's on paper, but the part of it that actually is real in practice, so that you can understand the parts of me that influence how I plan, so that maybe you can find some things about that that can influence how you plan. That's the idea. I hope that that sounds interesting. These takeaways feel very vague. I'm in kind of a vague existential place right now, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I guess what I want to end this video with is a question for you. If you had to think about all of the areas in your life where you are sort of in a smaller category than just general planner. For me, it's planning with a chronic illness, planning as a parent who shares 50% custody. Those are two things that are, and a parent who works from home for herself but not in direct sales. Those are all things that I could potentially talk about how to plan when you're in those categories, because I live those categories. What are the categories you live? What are the things that are unique to you or are special to you that you could talk about that maybe somebody else would resonate? Why don't you tell me about the parts of your life that are specific to you down in the comments below? Thank you so much for all of your support during Plan As You Go and through the loss of my grandmother. You have no idea how much it means to me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.